It is time. Renegades, Misfits for the CyberPowerPC Extreme Series Fall 2017. Dust, how excited are you? Because I know that I am stoked after that upset. Misfits take out Optic, and they've got themselves now facing the core of this Aussie lineup. Renegades on the other side.
Yeah, it's good on Misfits. I know that they've had a couple of tough times lately online, getting knocked out of the Epicenter qualifiers in pretty brutal fashion, and then, not being able to get into ECS and not qualifying for E-League, and, having some struggles at some of the DreamHack Open events, always getting knocked out in the group stages. And so for them to finally make a deep run in an online tournament will serve them well, maybe for their confidence, and obviously for the men over at Renegades, it's kind of a similar story, right? Trying to piece the team back together after a tough time with, Jake Walking standing in for a while and just acquiring NAF and trying to just kind of get everything stabilized. And yeah, I think that for most, I don't think this is the final people expected. So in that regard, it also serves as kind of an interesting story.
Yeah, it's definitely not. I would have said Optic Renegades. In fact, that's what I did say. And well, I'm wrong. So Misfits coming in. But the problem that I saw, obviously, with the match versus Optic was that it was not convincing by any means of the word. That was a grinding series as far as Misfits are concerned. And I mean, I didn't get the chance actually to watch Renegades earlier today. You had that opportunity alongside Seaside. So what was the nature of that match? Were you more convinced by that series than you were this most recent?
Yeah, I think Renegades had a little bit easier of a time winning their series than obviously Misfits did, where I actually got confused a lot during that third map. Like, I was actually trying to, prepare for this, obviously, and so I'm kind of keeping an eye on the game. And at one point, I'm like, all right, it's going to be Misfits actually pulling off the upset. And then I was like, well, wait a second, Optic forced overtime. Maybe they're still going to take this. And then it took 2 overtime. So definitely kept you on the edge of your seat in that regard. And it is Misfits, though, who take it over. So it'll be interesting to see how these two teams match up going into this, as we do have, I believe, the vetoes up on the screen, or they will be coming up here shortly. We can talk you through this just a little bit here, as we did see nuke ban from Renegades. Not very surprised by that. Misfits going to go ahead and ban Cobblestone. Again, not too surprising in that regard. They'll actually pick into Overpass over on the side of Misfits, which is actually kind of interesting because Overpass is actually not a good map for them. Their online record is really poor at times. Oh, actually, never mind. I'm retarded. Their Overpass is actually really, really good. But they were banning it for a little while, actually. That's what confused me. I saw them banning Overpass a couple of times, but their record online is insane. It's 9-1. They're actually really good on the map. But yeah, they were kind of not wanting to play it for a little while. But they'll bring it out against Renegades, who don't really have any experience in Overpass with this 5. And even with their core 4, it wasn't good for them. So that's a great pick, I think. And the pick of Inferno from Renegades is obviously a comfort for them. They haven't lost on it yet with this 5. And it's not that great for Misfits. So I think each team got a pretty good pick out of this, with Cash being the 3rd if need be, which is also a really good map for Misfits.
I see potentially that Cash map actually coming up as a decider here. I mean, we have, obviously, as you just said, a map that's great for Misfits online, a map that's great for Renegades online, and then we get, one of the most balanced or even maps in the entire competitive pool right now. So we might be here for the long haul, Dust.
Yeah, it's certainly possible. I could easily see each team winning their map pick based on recent results and all that good stuff. It is worth noting that the head-to-head matchup history between these two teams, we did see Renegades actually beating Misfits on LAN. That was actually at DreamHack Atlanta. Obviously, it's a slightly different lineup for Renegades at the time than what they have now, but they beat them on Mirage then. Of course, Mirage is not going to be involved in this series. And then other than that, though, Misfits have been able to beat them a couple of times way back earlier this year online and stuff like that. But games have at times online been very close between these two teams. So I would expect that, yeah, it should be a game that should deliver in the regards of being a close one.
I'm just going to pose a question.
Sure.
The stats we have on screen right now, what the hell are these?
Yeah, they're not really useful with small sample sizes. Clearly, like the average of 16 rounds when played cash, obviously, because they've won cash. Anyway, so let's forget about that. I think what is neat about the graphic, though, is like seeing some of the ADR and things of that nature. But now we are going to swing over to the lineup of Renegades, where you can kind of see how they've been performing throughout the tournament. I think one interesting thing to note when you look at this is the ADR spread. I mean, obviously NAF sticks out a little bit, but everyone else is within like a very close range of each other. And even like the plus minus overall for the event is actually also a pretty tight spread. So it seems like it's one of those teams throughout the tournament where everyone has at some point in time been a big performer.
That to me is the lineup of Renegades, though. Like after all of these iterations, I don't really know who to look for anymore when it comes to that like consistent, impactful play. Like I know that we had the conversation kind of along these lines in the opening day of the CyberPower event, and we said that Nafly could be that that X factor that can sometimes shine through. But man, a lineup that again I don't know where to fixate my attention to, and I think that's a good thing. I think that just goes to show that anyone can do it.
For me, like The Rock has always been JKS. Like I feel like he's a guy that usually is going to perform, very clutch player, plays with the more passive end of the spectrum, very stable type guy. So I feel like that's kind of the bedrock of the team, is kind of his consistency, especially throughout the early years of this team, back when it was still a full Australian lineup. I always felt like he was the guy that you could usually rely on. But yeah, you're right. Past that, it's like Asa can be an explosive entry fragger at times. Naf can be an explosive wild card at times. Nifty can at times be excellent with the AWP. Other games he can be slightly off, and you may credit that partially to the fact that he's also in-game leading, and that can always kind of make you take a hit to fragging for most in-game leaders at least. Obviously, there's some exceptions, Fallen being one of them. So yeah, I think you're kind of spot on that. Is I think we will transition over now, give you a little bit of a look over at Misfits and what they've been up to this tournament. And here, it's a little bit of a different story. It's very clear who the key performer and the standout has been, and that's been Shazam.
Yeah, definitely, especially on those two maps just now versus Optic. I mean, again, he wasn't able to carry over the win on Inferno, but he certainly did in the overtime of Mirage. So massive impact on that AWP, and even some nice plays with his rifles as well. He has been that standout. I expected a little bit more from the Frenchman, but they each had their own maps. Amanek played great on Cash, and Devadovic was right there behind Shazam in multiple instances. So as far as frag count's concerned, it is belonging to Shaz at this point, though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. He had some brilliant games in that Optic series, really helped them on some big rounds, and that is kind of just to give you a little bit of a thought about how things are going to play out again. Just to give you a refresher, the first map is going to be out on Overpass, where I think Misfits are the clear favorite there. Inferno, our second map, where I think Renegades are a slight favorite, though the sample size is still really small at their results, so I'm not as confident. And then Cash, of course, the decider, if it is needed, which has been a great map for Misfits, and so far not so bad for Renegades, right? I think it's a map that most teams have a good amount of familiarity with.
Yeah, it's kind of neutral territory as far as I'm concerned. And again, I'm going to reiterate, I really think we're going the distance here. I have no reason to believe that either of these teams should be able to create the upset versus their opponents on their corresponding map picks. I really do believe that we're going to see this go firstly to Misfits, then the Renegades, and then who knows what can happen on Cash. Dust, who knows? I
think there is a possibility Misfits could 2-0. I could see them maybe taking Inferno. I definitely think they have Overpass, and I think they have a shot at Inferno. So it could be a 2-0, but I can't see Renegades 2-0. I think that Overpass is going to be a rough ride for them, and we're about to strap in for it, as it has been live on 3. Pistol Round is live. Misfits starting on the T side. It is Sean Gares, Devadovic, Amanek, Shazam, and Sick. And then Renegades on the CT side, Nifty, Azza, Ustillo, JKS, and Naf. So it's like Misfits are looking to stack up pretty heavy here inside Connector to kick things off. I like it, too, because it means you can close distance on Bathroom so rapidly as you swing out this doorway.
We saw Nifty just try to apply some pressure towards Bathrooms, but even despite not seeing anyone, he didn't quite feel safe, so he does retreat further back into the bomb site where Misfits start to charge. Smoke and flash goes over, blinding Devadovic, but he takes the frag regardless. JKS tries to rotate it from the bank, and he will get into position to spot the cross, but he can't stop the bomb. No sir, that's done now. Renegades still at the man disadvantage, trading frags back and forth as Amanek locks down Dumpster. And now it's down to JKS and Azza. Another gush onto Azza. Now JKS, 28 health. He is down. Clean sweep from Misfits.
Yeah, again, I mean, I just really like how you can play that connector rush into bathrooms with Glocks, especially now with the buff. You just get the close distance. It's kind of similar to push a squeaky door on a cache with heavy numbers on pistol rounds. You just make sure that you try to get the close range battles and you just take advantage of them, and they did do that almost to Team Ace. So we are going to see, of course, Misfits going ahead and buying up 2 MAC-10s involved, the Galil and Devo. And then we do have the 2 AKs. We're going to have a conservative approach from Renegades. They've done this every CT second round that they've lost pistol. They've always wanted to just make sure they get a nice full buy, but they are going to still do something gimmicky, pushing into Fountain, but Amanek not really struggling to deal with it at all.
Ooh, luckily he's got Sean to clear up that last one. Ooh, Naf, okay. Taps away with the CZ, deadly at a distance, and scary up close. But Sean Gares mows him down, sweeps him from the staircase, and converts the pistol for Misfits.
Yeah, so farming that cash was Amanek with the MAC-10. He's already up to 3750. We'll buy up a little bit utility here with the rest of the Misfits as they'll look to play against pretty much a full save. We do see 3 P250s being purchased, make that 4. But of course, no utility, no armor. So this should be another breeze of a round for the Misfits unless something goes strangely awry.
He still is going to cower behind the tree. Of course, he's got Naf to pull in these players, and Amanek gets caught off. Ustillo. 2 frags already for him. 5v3 advantage, but Misfits go charging into the B site. That's gun retrieved at the very least, but they are only MAC-10s. Would you play for the retake, Dust?
Absolutely. You have a 5-on-3 and you have 2 MAC-10s, so I definitely think that it's worth trying to go for this. They even have a couple of smokes they might be able to put to some type of use, but this flank at Monster being spotted by Devaduvic, they're not even going to really be able to get into position if he keeps that up. Even spots JKS. What a nice little shot there. He does eventually go down, and now it's a 2-on-2, and now they might reconsider because it's just the clock. They don't have kits.
Definitely going to have to exit, but well done by Renegades, considering the investment. I mean, coming into this one with even less than the prior round and finding more success here than then. So, well done. Misfits still convert their point. Luckily, only losing those SMGs, and I believe the Galil. So, the double AK moves forward, a little bit of utility. Kevlar still holds on, and Misfits looking strong.
Yeah, Azza actually did find the Galil, so he's able to upgrade that MAC-10. And the MAC-10 will actually get passed over onto Nifty, who is probably going to be looking for an AWP. So he'll just drop his MAC-10 actually over to someone else. It may be Ustillo, unless some other gun got dropped. Yeah, actually, they will just get rid of it entirely. We're going to see Nifty and JKS playing over here towards the A side. Azza and Naf over at B, which is good for Naf. He's kind of just slotting into Nex's old spot, a spot he was comfortable playing in Optic. So it'll be familiar territory as we see Misfits really heavy short B control, and they are not hesitating at all coming up short.
Oh, Ustillo misses shots, though. Sean Gares gets through. MAC-10 goes charging forward. Nafly stops it there. So much damage done, and yet the bomb's on site, yet to be planted, however, as Nafly finds himself another frag, that one onto Devaduvic. However, now it's the retake to move forward. 4 versus 3. The favor of Renegades, and so much utility to expend here. Frag grenade can go flying out, Molotov can burn players into the open, but Nifty instead jumps up, finding 2! Shazam blasted out of the round, and Sick finds the headshot, wants to fall back, he's being pinched in, and it's a round for the Renegades.
Really well done there by Nifty with the AWP. Hats off to him. Naf also a big factor there. Looked like a decent take from Misfits. They were able to get that entry onto Monster, and again, they had that heavy presence on short. Able to get in there fairly quickly, but Renegades able to hold on. They'll put their first round on the board, but of course, with some of the rounds that Misfits are putting together and the bomb plant, they'll still have plenty of cash to buy right back into things, whereas, of course, Renegades have to weather through the risk of being reset. We are going to see the op back in Nifty's hands once more. Interesting to note that JKS used to play B a lot himself, and he's actually been playing towards the A side with Ustillo kind of swapping over. So another little adjustment here, but You're going to see Nifty trying to take that out towards short, trying to change up his positioning, but no one from Misfits has really got any position on B. It's a big focus right now on the A side.
They do have 2 players from Renegades inside connector. Naf on top of the shelving. Looks for a player to cross on party, but that first cluster of Misfits actually heads out on long, so they get by for free. Next 2. Oh, they line up, and Naf almost finds both, but instead Sean trades back, and JKS will get him. So, 4v3 to the favor of the Renegades, but the A site crumbles. Except for Azza, who hangs on, drops the bomb, and the Molotov blocks one off. Shazam still locked in on long, 4v2, as Azzer just single-handedly holds it off for now, but the frag grenade of Shaz and the AK of Sick open things back up. Single smoke, double flash to the CT's belts. Nifty could smoke bomb. Ustillo could flash towards bathrooms. That's where both Misfits play. Both of which are tagged already. Oh, Nifty's lucky to be alive as he gets tagged up by the op. Sick catches Ustillo, and Shazam! Getting the next one puts Misfits back to the board. It's an immediate reset, Dust.
Yeah, again, I mean, just Azza being left alone on the A site because there's so much focus on connector. Just got overwhelmed, essentially. Did get a little bit close, to be fair, though. Again, came down to a 2v2 in the end, but Shazam being able to put the finishing touches on that, and that will reset the economy of Renegades, who will invest a little bit into this. Mostly just pistols, but there's armor on Azza and Naf, and they will try to do some type of heavy push on short B. Ustillo leading that. He will get control of it, which means Naf can also slide in pretty comfortably. I'm not sure if they'll ever think about pushing out Monster. Looks like Ustillo was considering it. There's just Amanek lurking out there. But I think he hears this pressure. He will fade back behind the box.
Checked by Ustillo. Not that he can do anything about it. Amanek will call for Sick to come over. Nafly still retreats here. He's got the cover of the cement to maybe find some heads. Sean Garris is blind. There's 2. Nafly looking for another. Drops to Sean Garris, but JKS with another. And down to the 2v2. Yet again, swinging back to the favor of the Misfits. Shazam, with a pistol frag of his own, leaves Nifty on a USP. Could walk back towards Monster. There are guns to retrieve here, but it's being watched already. Actually, Shazam looks the other way. That's a smoke and a MAC-10 to play. Not much, but something. Shazam's going to be fully exposed here. Flashbang goes high. Fully blinds Nifty, who continues to creep towards site. Smoke to cover bomb, not cross, grabs op, and then he will retreat. So he knows better. He gives it up. Forfeited to the hands of Misfits, but what a great attempt there with the Deagles.
Yeah, really well done. I mean, just getting that control of the short B, taking some good fights, particularly Naf being able to do the damage that he did, and buying time. JKS coming in as well. At least Nifty is able to come up with an AWP, and they have done some economic damage to Misfits. Problem is, there's just so much cash there because of how they've been winning so much that they'll still wind up having a decent amount of money on some of their players even after this purchase. Meanwhile, Renegades still not able to get a fully equipped buy, as Ustillo will just have the UMP, but at least they have the op rifles and utility. And I'm curious to see how Misfits want to keep playing this out. I know they're usually fairly B-heavy, and they love to control short B with heavy numbers, but we do see them going into a more traditional 3-1-1, just letting Amanek lurk outside B per usual. Devo going to be working the connector, the rest just trying to allow that AK of Shazam to go to work over here towards Fountain and just see if they can't start getting some map control.
Unfortunately for JKS, he's already tagged a 77 and still sits inside connector all alone. Sick clears it out, taking the 5v4, splitting up the defense of Renegades as now it's stacked 2-2.
And now they're going to get short B control. They have the man advantage to leverage. We do have a boost going on inside the B bomb site, but I think they're going to fall back off of it after that flashbang poured in. So that's going to kind of crumble the initial plans, and they might just get overwhelmed here at B. Nifty is starting to rotate, though.
Big flash, big spray, 1 frag for it, but so much damage done. 5 and 10 HP for Amanek and Sick accordingly. 3 targets to take, one of which falls back towards Graffiti. Amanek wants the bomb, and he's gonna get this in. Nafly to the long con will start the flank. Amanek finds contact, down he goes. And that's a 3v3 to work with as Nifty jumps back towards site. Shazam cowers to the corner, Sick as well, now removed by Naf. Devaduvic, all that's left over, smoked off, the bomb planted for him, but the spam connects, and Renegades take another.
That's really crazy. Misfits usually got to be converting those rounds. I mean, they got the opening pick, they got onto B quite nicely, but it's just the retake once more. Naf big, actually, on that flank with the AK. I think he caught Amanek just so fast and just kind of evened things up, and just kind of piled on from there. They just really worked that well together, using their utility appropriately, timing their peaks just right. And so they will eventually put another point on the board now, but they do still need to worry about being reset again. That's what kind of came back to haunt them last time. And normally you're not going to survive a half if you're getting reset multiple times as a CT team. So that's really what you need to keep the eye on, as it is indeed going to be Misfits going for that heavy connector play again.
The problem with this setup for Renegades is that they're completely exposed to connectors. So the smoke goes down, they know the timing, and that ensures some safety. But we could just watch these terrorists come barreling through it. Could be flashed over, thanks to the players towards playground. A safer setup's been taken. Nice flash. There's the first. Nifty's up next. And down he goes. Great execution there from Misfits, catching 2 CTs with their pants around their ankles inside the bathrooms and leaving the A site for the taking. But Nafly, he's coming in hot. Finds one already, stops the plant attempt, which was never going down. Sick still sits next to the boxes, but Shazam with a flick shot to keep the T's in this 4v2. As they will fall back from bomb, and Renegades do the same. It's a save already, Dust.
Yeah, they have to. The money's just not there. Even with kits, they just don't really have that much utility, and they're down so many numbers that they just have to retreat here and carry these guns over. Brilliant by Misfits. Again, I feel like we're seeing it become increasingly more popular to do the heavy connector plays and just, you know, try to rush out onto bathrooms and close the distance quickly. And you could see how productive it was in this round. I mean, Renegades got absolutely overwhelmed in middle. Pop flash was on point from Sean Gares to let them through, and Misfits is a team that already like to play heavy connector and short B, so they're just kind of continuing to leverage that, and they will reset Renegades once more, make the score 6-2. Sean Gares did go for a chase there, but unable to collect any of those guns, so those rifles will carry over.
Very passive setup here from Misfits. Makes sense in my eyes, seeing as it's again an immediate reset on the line. Renegades fully invested for the second time. Economic damage has been dealt.
We see Sean Gares dominant going for some set nades over here on the B bomb site, but there's no real commitment coming from it. They're just putting that smoke on Graffiti. I think they're just trying to pull a rotation. They're going to be successful in doing that. JKS is moving over. NAF has already made the rotation, but they're not actually doing anything with it. Maybe some type of double fake going on. Maybe they're just going to throw this, you know, then wait it out, make them maybe rotate back to A, and then come back to B. There's still a lot of options here. Sean Gares certainly has something in mind, though, by throwing those set smokes so early on in the round. He's trying to throw some type of signal to the Renegades to play off of. Yeah, it's going to be the rehit. Okay, then.
Last time Ustilla was able to do substantial damage towards Monster. Only got 1 kill, but at least softened up the targets for the retake. Now, he will find one yet again. It is the man advantage. Swung back thanks to Sean Gares. Nafly hit as well, down to 9 HP. But there's no frag for Misfits to execute him with. Only the Molotov for JKS as the CTs come in. Sean goes up, and Naf swinging it back with a wall bang already. Shazam towards sight, could be the next to fall. He is, as Nifty hits the head, and now Naf clutches it out. 1v1. Renegades make it work.
Yeah, these retakes from Renegades have been on point, and that re-exec on B from Misfits just doesn't really pan out. It makes me kind of wonder what exactly the plan was there, because they just didn't gain anything from throwing those set smokes at the beginning. Like, yeah, sure, they pulled an extra player to B, and then after a while, yeah, he did rotate back to A, but that just basically meant you started right back at square one, you know what I mean? Like, you're just going up against the default setup now, so you didn't really gain anything. And the biggest problem was they didn't have any utility for the actual execute itself, and certainly nothing to hold off the retake. So it almost felt like that could work if you still had utility left over afterwards on some of your other players who didn't throw the smokes at B initially, but it really come back to haunt them in that round, I felt like.
Yet again, going back into that double connector stack. And again, Misfits charged with 3 players on long, the 2 to come out late party. This is the exact same setup that we saw prior to, but Nafly stays standing after getting the first kill. And that could be a massive difference. Azza rotates up. As Misfits continue on through long. 3 players there is...
Hello?
What? Alright.
Interesting.
Azza sniffed out, does still drop bomb. That buys time for the rotation upwards. Nafly with a frag. No damage done off of the utility just yet, but the bomb's still not planted, so the delay at least works out. We have, of course, Amanek very far back, still keeping an eye out for the flank. Renegades ready to get the retake rolling. Molotov's plume on site. Devaduvic fully committed to the boxes. First one's down, off to Frost, but the spam from behind is Nav. And the smoke's gonna block off bomb as Nifty gets on this. He's already holding it off. There's 2 players here, but they don't got... Oh! No. I thought they got him off it. I was absolutely wrong. The gull for Renegades as they stick the defuse and add another round.
Yeah, again, these retakes from Renegades, they've been so on point. It certainly helped that round they always were able to maintain a man advantage, right? I mean, they won that fight in connector. You know, Az was able to get one before he went down, so it made sure that they had a 4-on-3. And they just played it to perfection. You know, the way they timed out their peaks on that player who was still stuck inside the sight boxes, just making sure he was never going to get more than 1 kill. And then just body blocking the diffuser, basically, right? Just putting the smoke on the bomb and then saying, hey, they're probably playing for the bomb inside bathrooms. Let's just throw our bodies at them, make sure they can't get a shot off on the guy diffusing. And so it's just, you know, textbook retake. Really smooth. And look at Nifty, man. Johnny Tsunami over there.
I mean, you literally just said smooth, and that was as crisp as could be.
Yeah, man.
Then again, Amanek's getting style points of his own because he's sitting up top next to Monster. If he slides down this, he's done for. And I know if you hit it too high, oh my goodness, it actually works out.
That's like one of the few times I've ever actually seen that have an impact. It's so rare that people push Monster on CT side. That almost usually doesn't do anything, but this time it certainly does. And JKS has also spotted the bomb and taken it out. So this is still turning back around to Renegades, despite the fact they lost Fustilo at Monster.
And they're going to have to wrap back from long. That's where Shazam plucks Nafly. He attempts to retreat as JKS does. The bomb has been retrieved, 40 seconds to the clock, and Misfits with a 3v3. But that single gun on Shaz.
And they're now, with the amount of time left, looking to perhaps transition back over to B. Nifty is still here with the AWP at Graffiti. They do have a smoke and Molotov to perhaps block him out, so they can get onto the site and plant. I'm sure as soon as Nifty sees any inkling of utility, you'll see Azza begin to rotate. That's exactly what happens, and here comes the hit.
Smoke extinguishes perfectly timed, 5 seconds to the clock, as the no-scope will not connect. So the bomb's gone down, but the op immediately removed. Greatly done by Azza, slaying Sean Gares and leaving it all on Devaduvic, who is also down for the count. Renegades, 1 away from tying at 6 apiece.
Yeah, a little bit of good fortune there for Renegades to get that kill through the smoke. Really helped them get that retake going again. I think it kind of just forced Misfits to make a play when they're down a man. They don't really have utility left. They had to kind of just push to a smoke, try to go for something gimmicky. Didn't pan out. And again, these Renegades retakes, man, every single round they've won has been off of a retake and a defusal. They never, like, straight up won a round, but, I mean, there you go.
Which is wild to consider when, of course, we've seen rounds where Misfits are armed solely with pistols or only one gun. It's not been straight up gun rounds over and over. They've managed to find success when they should be struggling.
It's also worth noting that they've been reset twice this half, and they've still managed to keep the score, you know, very competitive, which can be very hard to do when your money's in disarray.
It's interesting to me to watch Renegades go for that committed connector control on one round and then just immediately fall back and play more passive towards sites. Especially when that's, again, inside of gun rounds all the same. But it's nades towards the B site. MNX mowed down Asa, finding only one, but Ustilo and Naf finding more. And Devaduvic, yet again, last man standing, tries to come in on short, has no bomb to play off of. The only thing he has is a little bit of cover. Ustilo posts up, Devaduvic tries to cross, and now he's fully committed as the op of Nifty falls down, and he's done for. 6-6 the score as Misfits lose their advantage.
Yeah, again, it's just Misfits going for that set piece on B, but they just never got through Monster. And you could tell, you know, they tried something similar a few rounds ago where they threw those set smokes, but then they waited and they re-exec later. And I feel like they kind of learned their lesson from that because they ran out of utility that time and wound up losing the round. They're like, okay, let's just go for it this time. But unfortunately for them, Renegades was actually stacking 3 in the B-bomb site. They had a little bit of extra firepower to put a halt to that. And now they've actually tied up the game, and Misfits are on to a 4 spy, so they actually have a chance to take a lead. Be the first time they've had one this game, and again, it's on a map that Misfits are almost untouchable in the NA scene. They're 9-1 on this map coming into this event on Overpass, and Renegades didn't really have much of an Overpass to speak of with this 5, but they're off to a great start in this round as well, as Nifty has already found Sick.
Still the double smoke, excuse me, triple smoke, now that Amanek walks over the corpse of Sick. It's going to be used to just continue to close this gap. Actually, it's going to create a gap. And Nifty will abuse it. Easy pick-off versus Amanek. Still the T side, stagnant towards the washrooms. Now they're going to use what remains of the nades. Try and force this forward. Shazam with a dirty deeg. Starts off with 1. Sean Gares catches JKS, and now it's a 2v3. Bomb getting closer as Sean acquires an AK. Could force the plant, but Naf up close wants to stop it. He does. 2 frags off the sidearm. Renegades in the lead.
Yeah, again, you couldn't really expect much from Misfits on the 4 spy, especially when one of their players goes down so early at long range with the AWP at long A. So they will take that first lead. Let's see if they can keep it rolling. As Misfits will be able to buy back into this, of course. Plenty of utility as well. Shazam will have the AWP. I will say he's been a little bit more quiet this half. Like, he hasn't been super explosive with the op. He hasn't had it that much, though, to be fair. So we'll see if that changes. They're going to give him some time to look for a peek down monster as they try to take short control simultaneously.
First time we've seen the double op, if I'm not mistaken.
Was last round as well.
Was it?
Yep.
Then I am mistaken.
Or whatever gun round they won on B before this. Maybe they didn't have it last round. I don't know.
Regardless, it's worked out already. Find an opening pick, but Devaduvic catches Azza. And Nifty's still posted here towards Fountain. That allows for JKS to push up, but it's Misfits to push into the B site. Devaduvic with another, dropping the op of Nap, but they haven't cleared Monster yet. That's where Ustilo resides and dies. To the 3v2 advantage Misfits have gotten themselves, but Devaduvic removed by Nifty, who rotates down and then back up into the heavens, peering into the B site and trying to catch Shazam, who has 3/4 health and op trained in, and another frag. so Nifty needs to clutch. Molotov on the belt, now thrown out, but Shazam can still cower back behind the pillar. Nifty starts to charge in, Shazam walks away, and this round should be done, but Nifty's actually still close to sight. Could pull them back in here.
Yeah, I guess he was trying to pull off a ninja. I guess that's what he was kind of thinking about. It's also thinking about trying to keep everyone on the site so they die to the bomb and have to rebuy. You know, knowing that if they're going to have to rebuy in this round, they're not going to have that much money, so you're limiting their utility and whether or not they have an op. So I think that was actually well worth it because it's the last round. He knew he was going to have money to rebuy an op. And maybe he pulls off the ninja and wins the round, you know what I mean? So that was actually one of those situations where I think that actually worked out pretty well, all considered.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even clearing out those last 2 players, I'd say that's a great opportunity here for Renegades, especially since they've got that 5-round win bonus moving forward, but actually come out with none of it, right? So in order to keep the economy as close as can be, all 10 players die, all 10 players reinvest, and now all 10 players are broke. This is even Stevens moving into the final round.
I mean, it's just weighing up, would it have been better for him to save the op and drop an M4 for someone, or was it better that he did this to Misfits? I think you could argue it's better that he limited Misfits' utility and not having an op.
Yep, I'd certainly agree, especially since Nifty could re-afford his. We'll see if it makes impact as it sits on side the A site. JKS up close. Gets checked, down he goes, the op's been tagged, he still stands as Naf trades it back and almost finds a third. But it is into the 2v2. As both CTs have to rotate upwards, Sean will plant the bomb.
How many 2v2s have we had? So many have come down to this moment, I feel like. A lot of good fighting.
Renegades creeping up from bank, both players here ready to trade. Amanek somehow gets away. Ustillo charges forward. He wants to find the frag to the APC. Damage done. Cleanup has happened as Azza swaps back guns and clutches things out. Sean exposed and pummeled for it.
To be fair, I'm sure he thought he would be able to get behind that wall, but Azza just too swift with the M4. And again, the half concludes on what was the common theme, I feel like. Just the retaking that Renegade's able to do. And that half was just so on point. 6 of their round wins of the 8 were off of retakes. And what were usually even situations, like 3-on-3s, 2-on-2s, usually had some good exchanging going on in the mid-round. But again, those late-round situations, those retakes, they always seem to favor the Renegades.
Yep, 6 of their wins coming in from the retakes, and 6 of the last 7 rounds also go their way. So a very close half, as close as can be. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, as we take a brief break and come back for the second half.
My name is Trick2G and I use CyberPowerPC powered by Intel. Let's go!
A minimal lead here for Renegades, but a lead that I'm sure they're happy to hold on to, considering the start of that first half.
Yeah, again, this map certainly does favor the CT side a good bit most times, but given, you know, the record Misfits has on this map in the NA scene, and given Renegade's lack of familiarity as a 5 on it, I think that, and like you said, the way that the thing started, it's a good recovery. And they keep it close. They can still contest this map now, as we will see them get smoke flash on Nifty. And I think they're going to try something very similar to what Misfits did, which was stack connector and rush, but check out what Misfits is doing. The hard counter. They're going to fight him in connector.
Nafly executes Amanek. as he tries to hide behind the staircase. Now the 4v2. Renegades not only with a 1-point advantage, but what could be early momentum if they can close this pistol. Nafly ambitiously wallbanging the tin here. Man, Renegades still hold on to so much utility as well. I mean, I can't help but feel like it's going to take a godlike play from one of these CTs.
Yeah, someone's going to have to just go nuclear with their USP. Is really the best way to put it. As Sick is holding that short pipe, trying to make sure he can let Devoduvic safely just sit on A. This is at a standstill, though. I mean, Renegades are content just to kind of leverage their advantage and not commit to anything too early. Now they will start getting their utility ready for a B execute. And remember, the B bomb site's wide open. Sick's playing aggressive in the short, but he will spot them through this pipe, I believe, and this is where a duel could go his way, but Naf is going to be there to trade so quickly. He does get 2, and this buys time for Devoduvic to get into position before the bomb can get planted. I mean, the clock is ticking, so there's still some hope for him. He's got a kid as well.
Smoke on site. Certainly covers bomb. Frag goes out to chip on Nifty, but the plant's now in. Nafly on the retreat finds himself through short all the way back on Monster. And now Devoduvic's committed as he falls in. Spots Nifty as the smoke will fade. But he's going to have to play fast here. Still has the kit. Oh, and now he knows both players are in this position. Nifty's still up close, just running round the pillar. Down he goes. Naf has to clutch. He does. Renegades with another pistol.
I mean, I have to say, for the fact that Renegades had a 4-on-2 for the longest time, that still got nail-bitingly close thanks to Sick's efforts in short B. Came down to a 1v1 in the end, but nonetheless, Renegades do come out on top. That's what matters most. They will be able to full SMG and utility up in this round. Misfits taking a different approach than Renegades in their second round. They're actually just going all in for the most part. Sick will get the scout. Armor pistol on Sean Garrett and Devoduvic. Obviously, Shazam is going to take a hit here because he wants to get that op in the first gun round. But they are certainly putting a little bit more behind their second round.
I'm still worried, though, because we've got that single scout of Sick on site. And all the T side dangerously close to B.
Oh, Sean jumps right as he pulls out a Molotov.
Now they start to push in. Great flash! Devoduvic with a 2K already. Azza able to clear him out, but JKS still comes charging forward. Sean up next. Cleared to the headshot of the ump, but the bomb's not yet planted. No rush. Minute to the clock. And a fresh mag in for Nafly. But there's 2 more frags. Not like this. Optic 8-1. And now it's up to Renegades to dodge this force by JKS 1v3, 50, 16 points of health. He's done. Misfits have done it yet again. The round 2 force buy panning out with the B site stack. You hate to see it.
You really do. I thought they were actually doing pretty good work to get in there. Devoduvic, of course, did have those big kills on short that kind of kicked things off. They responded decently, but still wind up falling prey to the force. Now they have to take essentially a full save. There's been no bomb plants. There's no extra money floating around. They have to just kind of eat this one, so to speak. Misfits, great chance to tie this thing up now. Shazam going for the boost over here to the window of bathroom. Very effective.
If he hits shots, finds one head, that belongs to Nap. JKS and Nifty take it back. 3v3 and guns acquired here to the T side. Devoduvic nearly finds the bomb carrier, but Ustillo still gets on site. It's the flank that becomes the problem. Sick tapping away with an SMG, finds Ustillo and leaves it all on Azur. He's got the P250. Able to catch Devoduvic first. Sean gears up next. And he will convert his points. So Misfits do what Renegades couldn't, convert after the win.
And they'll get 2 in a row. Now, with that bomb plant and the fact that Renegade's full save, there are some options in this round for them, for sure, to go ahead and get the buy. It would mean that Nifty would have to get dropped an op, and that would mean that maybe someone is going to be a little bit lacking on utility, so they may just do a 5 rifle setup because of that. So they can make sure they get full head armor on everyone and utility across the board. That's exactly what will take place here. Op will be out on Shazam. Expect him to be patrolling the A-bomb site the majority of the time.
No op, but at least some utility. Shazam remains the single cannon here in round 19.
Man, you can see that Renegades are looking to do something at A early on. They don't have any B lurks, so they're just making sure they focus their efforts on getting control of middle and bathrooms. JKS will be soloing out here in connector, but certainly the emphasis is on the A side of the map for Renegades.
Nafly with more ambitious wallbangs. Slight utility usage here from Renegades if they have assumed control of the longer A halt. Also bathrooms. Misfits content to just sit back on site and leave Shaz to hold things off. With Devaduvic and 6 still push forward on B site, the rotation's going to take forever. So the players here on A need to hold off with something. Amanek first to be tested as Nifty's up close. Dink and finishing. Frag takes both. Ustillo dropped by Shazam, who takes damage back through the fences as Misfits will rotate upwards. 15 seconds to the clock. Bomb not yet planted, and Shazam still holds on. Nafly denied, and JKS also removed. Double digits for Misfits.
And that's just Renegades not fighting well enough in the early round. I mean, they did well to, really just, put that into a default round, right? Misfits didn't really have any forward presence. They were stuck in the A-bomb site. You've been able to get control of middle. You've pushed all the way up long A. With Amanek, I mean, the fact that he got 2 kills before going down in that spot is just not good enough. Like, you have to trade him 1 for 1. Then Shazam just pops off with the AWP, and now Misfits have the lead back, and they have Renegades again saving. So this should be where Misfits can put another point on the board, extend their lead a bit more. We are going to see that triple connector play for Renegades. Trying to see if they can't get in the face of someone at bathrooms with these pistols. But in fact, Misfits, I think kind of aware that's a possibility, are playing pretty passive. And they're not going to be in close in the bathrooms, not give them that chance.
Oh, dunk. Sean Gares disgusts me. Not only does he hit the wall spam through the wood, through the squeaky door, and onto Nifty, but he slam dunks to finish the frag. Ustillo hasn't seen anyone yet, and he already sits to 48 HP. Pistol's not panning out just as of yet, but Amanek goes charging forward, retrieves the bomb. Ustillo taking Shazam and grabbing himself an off. Sick clears short water. That's down to 2. Misfits should convert this.
Should will be the key word.
Ustillo. He somehow managed to get his way through bank, and there are CTs here. Devaduvic and Sean Gares are fully exposed at this point, but Devo able to catch it. Spots him and tags him. Down to 1/5 health. Now he's down. Naf finds 1 frag, but he's so far away with no bomb that this one's over. At least he's got the AK. And excuse me, it's not over. Nafly still has a chance to gun things down. Sean Gares towards the middle of sight. 15 seconds on the clock. Naf can get down to B and plant this. Not like this.
Well, I think this is a good calculation for Misfits. Let's just play together. If he plants at B, so what? At least we can retake together as a unit of 2 and make sure that we win the round. And I think that's kind of the thought process there. Devaduvic, though, just making sure he's not crossing the short. So he's eliminating angles that they have to worry about. He knows, okay, he didn't cross short. He has to still be in the site, or he has to be playing over towards Monster. And now Naf's been spotted.
Oh, but Nafly tapping towards Sean Gares. Devaduvic comes in, and Nafly goes out. Misfits will convert with another point, but man, was that made close.
Certainly was. Naf did, make a couple of fireworks happen there. Gets the bomb, at least gets them some plant money, so that's actually kind of a mission accomplished when you considered what type of guns they were working with in that round. That'll give them a brilliant buy in this next round. See if they can't come right back at Misfits. And I will say this, even though Misfits have won 4 rounds in a row, they've had to do a decent bit of rebuying along the way because of damage like that. that NAF did. So their money's not actually in the best of situations, all things considered.
We watched the first quarter of this map easily go the way of Misfits with the double reset, but they were still able to swing it back and grab that 1-point lead. So we can't count them out just yet. They need to figure out the T side, though. As they play passive yet again. Almost feels like they're giving a lot of respect to Misfits' initial setups.
Yeah, I will say one interesting thing about this is NAF is kind of normally known as like a lurker, a peripheral player, but I feel like on this particular map, they've really, because JKS is already kind of the lurker for this team, NAF is being used in a little bit more of an active role. They just use him to kind of control bathrooms, but now they've fallen off of it. They're looking to get into short B and start looking to do some type of split here on this B bomb site now. We're going to see Nifty and NAF lining up some utility to make their way in. It is a triple B setup, though, from Misfits, so the resistance is going to be high over here.
Set, execute. Thrown up and over. Second volley of nades goes in, and already Ustillo finding an entry, but it's Devadovic to drop the bomb, gets another, but as he swaps to the sidearm, he goes down. NAF, with another clutch attempt, takes the head of 6 already. Molotov to block the cross. He could definitely plant this bomb here, especially with that long con coming in from Amanek, because right now Shazam does not want to commit to the fight, does not want to forfeit this 1v1.
Oh! Smooth. Knowing that the player was low on health, just pulls up the P250, holds the angle, winds up getting the one tap, and so Misfits will secure the round. Really good hold from Devadovic. Again, Misfits benefiting from the fact that they did have 3 players on the B-bomb site for that execute, and defending very well as their fire distribution's really tight on Misfits right now. Meanwhile, Renegades, it's pretty top-heavy with NAF. He's having one of those, you know, ringers of a game, you know what I mean? Like, that'll happen every now and then for NAF, where he just really pops off. Unfortunately, some of the others just haven't really stepped up to that level yet.
I feel like more often than not, that happens here on Overpass, and I immediately think of, like, his E-League performance with Optic. Sure. Exact same scenario, where Nafly is just an animal. Cold-blooded Canadian killer, some would say.
We're going to see them again going for something heavier towards A. JK's already pulled off B. Not even going to be connected. Looks like he just might join them in playground here. Shazam, though, keeping his vision focused over here at long A, has already found the first frag and might find more. He's holding that angle still.
We're watching another situation here where Renegades are walking closer to the site that is stacked with 3, but Amanek is done after 1. And yet they maintain the man advantage. Shazam jump spotting to the back of long. NAF creeps up with bomb, but more importantly, the AWP. Oh no. Molotov bounces back in his face. 30 seconds to the clock as Renegades start to charge forward. Shazam gets tagged through boxes. Sean Gares and Shazam slam down the offense as they attempt their way in. Misfits with a solid CT side thus far.
Yeah, absolutely. They're not letting anything go through for Renegades. I mean, while in the first half, a lot of the rounds were very close, and the half score line was very close, right? As close as possible. A lot of 2v2, a lot of retake type situations. Misfits have just been straight up defending well. It's been big individual plays. I mean, we had Devadovic a gun round ago, just absolutely shutting down B with a hat trick. You had that round where Amanek, you know, shut down long A with 2 kills. Shazam's AWP has been so on point in general. It's just been so clean this half.
Unarmored pistol arrows on the side of Renegades here and now in the 23rd round. Nafly towards the B site, plays alone with bomb. He's trying to find some kind of an entry, but it's heads being popped on A. Amanek finds Azza. Oh my goodness. Nifty could find Shazam, and he does. The 2K off the Deagles opens up the A site. Bomb's gonna run forward here, and Nafly finds the plant. He could even find some guns if he's fast enough, because now Sean Gares comes up. But he's already fully blind. They will have that wraparound, as Sick will start his flank. This could be one of those rounds, Dust, where somehow they work the pistols. Nifty stuck inside the corner, half blind spotted and killed. But that's going to give Nafly the opportunity to rotate back round. M4 flash and armor. 2 kits to the CT's side. Flashbang goes high, and he drops another. They're trying to get on the bomb, and he's spamming back and forth. The smoke blooms. Devin Dubik's on it, and he's got it. Misfits with the defuse.
There was a moment there, though, where he started to believe, to be honest. I mean, Naf did so well with that M4. He's been having just a blaze of a game. He's at 28 kills, and if he just could have found the spin in the smoke, he might have stolen that round away, but unfortunately, closeness doesn't count in that situation. Misfits up now 14-9, so they're looking like they're starting to maybe drive home. It's one of those final nails in the coffin, as most of these rounds have been very one-sided. That was the closest Renegades have come to winning a round since Pistol. Hopefully they'll be able to kind of start shaping up together here, as they do have control of short B in this round.
Talk about retakes so far on Overpass. Renegades were working it on their defensive side, and now Misfits do the same. 4 of the 7 come off of the retake, most of which down to clutches.
Here comes Renegade, starting to line up some utility here on the B-bomb site. Again, though, Misfits will have 3 players defending, and Shazam's not that far away on his rotation. Can they break through? Ustilo leads up the sidewalk. He's able to find 1 and a second. This could finally be Renegades getting something going. They've done so well on these entries.
And yet once more, it's going to have to be the retake. Misfits down by 2. Smoke, flash to their name, but Shazam rotates upwards. He's already done. MNX gone as well. Misfits forfeit the round over. Renegades to double digits. They've done it. But the bigger question will be, can they survive a potential reset?
And just holding on to the AWP and the M4. Again, it's important to note that, I mean, money is a little bit low because of how close some of these rounds have been. Particularly that last round, they only survived with 1 player. But luckily, it looks like they will hold on to the AWP and M4, which means they should still be able to get a buy going in this round. There could be some drops if need be. The people can buy armor and all that good stuff, so this should still be fine. But it's all about what happens if you don't win this round. That's when things can get a little bit dicey.
Nifty looks to lead the charge, and Shazam on the other side, so could be a duel of the Oppers on A. Meanwhile, we're watching Renegades take a page rather, out of the book of Misfits by charging in through connector. Just goes to show how much I read. Speaking of reads, Misfits going back down with the 3-player B-site stack. That's how they started off this half.
I think when you have Shazam just being able to do so much work with the AWP by himself, I mean, typically you do lean somewhere, right? Like, either you're going to lean towards A with 3 and try to control connector, or just try to play forward towards Fountain or something like that, or you're going to play triple B. Especially since Strong Gears is in Graffiti, I mean, there's no chance that an Execute's going to lay in before he gets a chance to get back over there, right? The rotation's so quick. It's similar to Nuke with that verticality. So it actually is not that much of a risk to do this as a CT team.
Still so close to the site, though. is Misfits. Nobody really rotating in from heaven just as of yet. Long rotate for the man on A. Misfits have to survive. It's up to Sick to drop bodies. Sean finding a frag of his own, leaves it only on Naf, who spams the Deeg. But it's just not meant to be, as it's a 1v4. Bodies have hit the floor and the bomb's still on his back, soon to be dropped. He levitates in the corner and then drops to the floor as Misfits secure OT.
Will be the tactical timeout coming in here for Renegades. I think this is the first time we've seen a timeout this map. I'm surprised it hasn't come earlier from Renegades, to be honest. Like, I feel like now it's almost too late. Like, you know, now you have to play for overtime. This would have been good maybe a few rounds ago to try to figure out what's going on in the half. But nonetheless, using this extra time, I guess, is better late than never, I suppose. We'll see what they come up with here. They do have the op in Nifty's hands. Might be able to use him to maybe leverage some control on the A side of the map. I feel like that's what they've been lacking, is the fact that Misfits can so comfortably play triple B. Like, even Sean Gares in that round, he was able to get deep into the B bomb site before they hit. It's not like he was stuck at graffiti and blocked off by smokes or something like that. He could be confident in being further away from rotating because there's just no pressure being put on the A side of the map by Renegades. I think if you do put some pressure there, that means that Sean Gares can't just comfortably nestle in to be like that. And that could maybe open up the B-bomb site a tad bit more.
Are you seeing this game chat, Des?
Yeah, apparently someone decided to go take a wee.
Remember that next time they complain about production delaying games.
Let's not get into that. I'll get triggered.
Resumes are out. Guns are bought. One op per side yet again. Nifty v Shazam. After I watched Shazam duel off versus Alu and oh man.
Hello.
Speak of the devil.
It's like the CSGO version of giving your teammate a slap on the ass and telling them good job. Good game. I don't know if they do that in Canada, but it's like a big thing in American sports.
Hey man, you guys do you.
Meanwhile, Shazam's already found the opening pick in this round, so Misfits a step closer to taking this map and moving on to the next with the 1-0 advantage. Nifty unable to find any type of response as they've already fallen back. They had that bait set up right now at long A where Shazam will obviously take the first peek and then Aminet can maybe surprise someone. But I don't think it's going to be a factor as the focus is really going to be towards middle. Sean Gares is actually already committed to rotating. And look at the position even Devaduvik and Sick have because they're just boosting Graffiti Wall. They're going to be really fast to get to A as well. So this could turn into a nightmare for Renegades based on the positioning that Misfits have.
We'll see if it's enough to close out map 1. Renegades on the cusp of the A site. But the Molotov's going to slow things down, so they'll have to play patient. And right now, again, we have that long A play from Misfits. Just assuming control and information. Shazam with a flick re-peeks back into the crosshair of Nifty. Who does have the bomb. He's going back. Aminek with no gun out. Oh! Nifty! Hits himself the shot, gets the opening down to the B site. It already sits in control for JKS. He takes one. Devaduvik trades. 10 seconds left, and he's already got the cross. It's Nifty with a third, and it's all down to Sean. Bombs in, Sean's down, Renegades just keep rolling. What a shot and what a play by Nifty.
What an awkward situation, though, if we're honest there. I mean, this Aminek on the flank thinks he's balling out of control. He's read it so well. Nifty, they both have their nice out. It's like that awkward interaction you have with, like, an ex or something like that, where you had, like, a bad breakup, too, and then you see him out in public, and you're just like, ugh, like, don't want to run into this person. Like, that's kind of what happened to Aminek and Nifty there, but Nifty was able to put him out, and so Renegades, they do hang on thanks to that one frag was really the one that had the impact.
Immediately the economy here for Misfits is an issue. Triple Deeg, CZ, and the P250 with a flash. At least they go for the short stack, trying to play up close with those pistols. And curiously, it's Amanek over here on long. He will be tested as 3 Ts decide to trickle in. Crosshair is very high for this, so... Oh my goodness. Oh, Amanek! 2 quick frags. Again, the pistols for Misfits have kicked things off and put things in question, as now they have a 4v3. Starting to push forward. More damage done. Azza gets on site, finds Shazam sitting to the back of the dumpster. He's dropping JKS, but Azza needs to reload as already the bomb is planted. Long con from Sick as he rotates round. Sean with another frag. Now it's all on Azza. He sprays for the first, he gets it. Can the pistols do this? Not with Sean, because he's gone down. It's Sick in a 1v1, 10 health. And a flash that goes high. Sick with no kit.
Bomb's not planted for him.
And you're absolutely right. He's gonna tap it once. Azza has to come out here. He doesn't know. And Sick to win things out. Misfits with only pistols.
Yeah, it's just one of those unfortunate situations where the bomb's not planted for you, and despite the fact Sick has no kit, that guy has to peek, right? When you know the bomb's not planted for you, there's a smoke on the bomb. You don't know if he's got a kit or not. You have to peek, and Sick just playing off of that. Able to go ahead and drive it home. 16-11 in favor of Misfits. It was expected they could take that one given their good performances on the map in the NA scene, and Renegades not quite being as up to snuff on it. A great game from Naf, though, man. He was really lighting up the scoreboard. 123 ADR, 30 kills. JKS, though, really struggled there. 33 ADR, 10 and 22. Definitely not a normal performance from him. Meanwhile, Misfits, I think their effective distribution was a lot tighter, right? I think there was a lot more overall team contribution in that one for them. They all played pretty well. The ADR spread is quite good. Obviously, Sean Gares is always usually kind of the outlier, not known for being a heavy fragger as an IGL, but still did his job, and they move on with a 1-0 in this series.
Yeah, and moving over to a map, of course, that we watched them lose versus Optic. Inferno will be the second map here, and it's the choice of the Renegades. Oof,
yes.
That was close. Very smooth.
Nailed it.
Smooth transitions as we almost hit the 1 a.m. mark here on the Eastern Coast. We will be back after a brief break and a word from our sponsors. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the CyberPowerPC Grand Finals, and it's coming at you live. So don't go too far. Stay tuned. Stay beautiful. Stay hydrated.
Gaming is demanding, and streaming even more so. We pride ourselves in knowing what it takes to build a perfect system.
I've been gaming and streaming my entire life. I do it because it's my passion. The one thing my audience appreciates the most is the energy I bring to the table. And when I bring energy, that's when I connect with my audience.
Yo, Renegades, thank you for the 10 months, man. Appreciate the resubscribe.
Yeah, I get excited about the little things, like cache and IO improvements. We take a lot of time to make sure that every system we build maximizes performance. Now, with more cores and threads, the potential is so much higher.
So when I'm streaming, there's usually a lot going on. The last thing I want to worry about is my computer going down. Everything just has to work.
With more PCI lanes, we get a ton of headroom for graphics cards and SSDs. Intel's making it easy for us to give streamers responsive systems with more bandwidth, scalability, and overclocking potential.
To stay competitive, I gotta grind, I gotta stay sharp.
Gaming is going to be around forever, and we're always going to be there.
We're always practicing and pushing
until it's perfect.
My name is Tim, aka Tim the Tap Man, and I play video games on the internet. I would say if you come to my channel, for the most part, you're gonna see some sort of FPS getting played. I'm kind of the person that once I find a game I like, I sink my teeth into it. So for the past year, I've been playing Overwatch, and first-person shooter type of games is what you're generally gonna see. I've been playing those games, Counter-Strike, World of Warcraft, I mean, since I was 13, and then Overwatch has only been out for a year, but I have logged way too many hours into that game already, so the competitive nature of it, growing up, you know, played a lot of sports and stuff, and have that competitive kind of root in me, and I like to win, even though in my old age, I don't do that near as much anymore. Feel like I can't keep up with a lot of the young bucks out there playing now. I personally yell more than I probably should, if you ask people that, you know, live with me, but like, let's go, everyone! Like, you know, really excited about whatever. It has almost 2 meanings. You can do it in the pre or the post. So before whatever you're doing or after whatever you're doing, you know, it's perfect. Let's go! The reason that I started streaming was when I was in college back in 2013. I used to watch a guy by the name of Soda Poppin'. And I always thought, man, it's so cool. This guy's playing video games, people are watching. So basically, the root of it was, you know, I like video games and I like people. I like hanging out with people and I like video games. So I thought streaming kind of was a perfect mesh of those two things. So started doing it back in 2013, and you know, here we are today. Very, very gratefully. Becoming a streamer has changed my life in regards, well, to a couple different ways. One way I'd 100% say is just getting to connect with so many people on a personal level and meeting viewers that have been watching me, you know, for 2 to 3 years, you know, people that you've never put a face to, and then you go to an event and you can see these people and talk with them. It's a really cool feeling. But also, you know, I'm living the dream out too, you know. To be able to wake up and stream every day is a blessing. That 100%, you know, it's a dream I'm living out, and I can't thank people that, you know, watch enough. As far as tips for streaming goes, I think at the core of it, my first thing I always tell people is to have fun with it. If you're not having fun with it, it's gonna be a tough time for you. For me personally, CyberPower, if I have an issue with something, I can reach right out to them and they'll be on it. You know, I need obviously a reliable computer, but on top of that, you know, if something goes wrong, God forbid, they're gonna be right there to help me out with it. It's almost a security blanket for me. I love Intel. The reason that I trust Intel is because that's what I've been using for so long. It's like I grew up with them, you know? Back when I was 13, to put the first one in the computer, that's like a bonding relationship right there. And ever since that point, and having a good experience with Intel, I've not wanted to look away. Don't fix what isn't broken. You know, I'm very blessed to be in the position I am, very grateful that CyberPower, you know, wants to work with me, and I understand the position I'm in is a very, you know, fortunate one, and I'm very, very humbled to be able to do what I do, and I can't do it without you guys. So thanks so much, anyone watching the stream, whatever, supporting, appreciate you guys, man. My name is Tim the Tap Man. I use CyberPowerPC powered by Intel.
We are back with the second map between Misfits and the Renegades. First map choice of Misfits went their way. They walked away with a win. Now we swap over, and we already watched Misfits lose this map today, Dust. So how are you feeling about this one?
Yeah, I think it's possible Misfits could 2-0 this series, but I also think it's reasonable to expect Renegades to maybe take this and put this into a third map, as we are going to see Misfits looking to get an aggro on middle, looking to take the fight to Renegades, and they're doing great to keep Amanek alive out there. And Devaduvik even picks up a frag.
Shazam's going to hear this barreling in from Balk, instantly executes Ustillo. And now the rest of Renegades just need to retreat. Gonna recompose, reset, and re-aggress elsewhere. Should still be the A site that they decide to strike. They've gotten the headshot towards lane. Shazam sits inside the graveyard, Amonek's on site, and the rotation's inbound. But Renegades could still get this bomb in if Shazam dies, and he does. But the problem is Amonek. Now he's removed, and we're back to the 2v2.
The bomb's definitely going to get planted. Sick has rotated into library. Sean Gares has already come around Moto as well, but it's all going to come down to these headshot angles because Nifty has that box he can use.
Just to tap away, trying to find their skulls. Sick takes Azza. Nifty still stands inside sight, but not for very long. We've got it on the board. It's Misfits with a pistol.
And a team ace.
Beautiful.
Love to see it. Oh, I mean, started with the tempo of Misfits when they set it out at middle, getting to open at frag, and then they just followed up with everyone contributing. Bomb plant does come in, though, so this gives Renegades some options. They're usually pretty conservative, so I expect they would just wait for a third round AK buy. And that is exactly going to be the case. Just Glocks, one flashbang on Nifty. I'm trying to think what maybe pop flash apartments from middle, so they can just flood out. What I think is most likely. Or you could just pop flash them in, they just run that way.
Oh my, mow down. Shazam
Blender
with 3, Amanek with 1, and it's the full house. 3 for Shaz, 2 Amanek, done and over, and quickly at that. So much damage dealt though. 29 HP for those 2 players at the end of it. They certainly could have survived. They certainly could have gone down, and the terrorists survived and maybe found more footing, but that's not the case. Good control here at the top of mid.
Hey, remember the Will It Blend series?
Yeah.
I guess Renegades does blend. I wish you could have seen his face when he did that laugh. It was the most forced laugh ever. As we are going to see Renegades, they do get the AKs out. This is what they were saving up for. Of course, as they are going to go into their default, but very passive. Like, JCats and still are taking their sweet time, starting to work into window room, just making sure that they weren't going to get any aggression from Misfits first. Now they will start settling in. Haven't been able to control Banana, though. Good utility from Misfits to keep the bottom of Banana smoked, so kind of suffocating Renegades out of being able to establish full map control. That's really the dream as a default, right? You want to get top Banana, you want to get apartments, you want all your options open. Right now, they're just being cut off.
Simultaneous peek inside of mid. Nifty with a little 180. But there's nobody here. Nobody at all. Misfits actually sit inside the site. 2 players on Arch and 2 committed in it. 1 man on Banana. Sean Gares looks to anchor. But now he looks to retreat because the T side start to force him back. 35 seconds on the clock. Where do Renegades go?
They let the bomb in T-spawn, so they have to go back and grab it. So this is really going to force them down to the bottom of the clock. Good on Nifty to at least force Sean Gares back into B. This means Shazam had to rotate, and they're not going to be up against a 4-man stack at A. All 3 players are actually on the site right now for Misfits, so this could be very interesting.
Molotov will fade with just enough time, but man, they've got to express this. It's going to come down to a massive clash. Everyone's ready to go, and it's already the CTs that come out on top. JKS frags, the players are slain, but the bomb? Oh, the bomb, is it in?
Yep. No! Oh, I thought they did get it. I thought he had it. I thought he did come in time, but he just didn't quite make it. And that's kind of the advantage of Misfits having every player in the site, is they got to keep fighting the clock down to where the bomb couldn't get planted, despite the fact that they, you know, lost everyone pretty much in the process. Well then.
Chunky nade. Azza hit for a quarter. And the follow-up tags JKS. Slightly less, but damage done nonetheless. Sean Gares finds the entry. Headshot. Instantly removes the man on Banana. Aminek's going to be tested here towards Arch. Lines them up and almost knocks them both down. But it is Naf still standing. Ustillo by his side. Wraps round to help with plan. And Deva Duvik's had enough. So Naf, he'll punch in the digits. Gets himself the bomb. And can he hold on as he just cowers in the corner? Nowhere to work with. Still able to find the first. Sick up next. And yet they've overwhelmed him. Misfits finding 4.
Yeah, so coming off to a big lead. Now, with that bomb plant and the fact that they have that $2,900 coming in off the loss bonus, they actually still can buy up now in this round. Without the plant, they probably would have been having to save. But the other option here is just to do like some type of upgraded pistol armor buy and just make sure you get a nice full buy in the next round, but still pose a threat in this one. And that's exactly going to be the case, as we do see Nifty getting the CZ, 2 more following suit. Deagle for JKS. Naf actually pulls out the dualies.
The
Berettas are better than one. You a fan of the dualies, Scrawny?
No. Not really.
Every time I see the dualies, I just think about that old CS video where he talks about like how big his fish was. I don't know if you remember that. It's like an old school.
I am unfamiliar with this video.
Yeah, it's like this guy tells a story in like T-Spawn, and then he pulls his dualies out and he says the fish was this big. Something like that. Good times. Go YouTube it.
Sounds hilarious.
The deadpan's so real.
Oh, Christ. Devadovic, he's on balcony. He's waiting. He's patient. And eventually, the Renegades will walk right in. Double Molotov.
Yep.
Smoking a flash.
Definitely a pop flash explode into pit. No doubt about it. But balcony and pit going to be here to deal with it. But those Molotovs could make it tricky, actually. Curious to see how this plays out.
Maybe Aminek slays them all. Maybe Devadovic does it. There's one apiece. The Frenchman coming out on top of the Aussies. And everybody else. Misfits 5-0. Clean hold. No troubles. No worries.
And here comes the full buy now from Renegades, as if you will have the AWP for the first time. It's been a slow start for everyone here in Renegades. They're getting outdueled all across the board. Pretty much everyone from Misfits is out-fragging everyone from Renegades if you line up the positions of top fragger to bottom fragger. So hopefully Renegades can start getting their act together. Again, they would face the elimination and give Misfits the title if they lose this map, as they did lose Overpass. And again, $9 grand on the line for first place, as opposed to the $4 grand for second. So definitely a difference there, as Devo has already found Ustillo in this round. So Renegades trying to pick up the pace, do something faster, but they've been halted. Woo, 6 lucky there.
Sean Gares holds on to arch side. Tees now have to trickle in, and Aminek drops the bomb. That's crucial. Nifty scouring the landscape, hoping for some kind of a pick on that AWP. Devadovic unable to hold off on the bomb, and the Molotov will force the CTs back in. With a minute to the clock and the op of Nifty, they could still work something here. Op's about to walk back in. One man on lane, one man on site. Devadovic rotates off. Doubles back. Essentially, Misfit's just going to try to play this massive numbers advantage, and the only liability would be Aminek, so he firmly establishes himself inside the site. The insurance policy, so to speak.
Yeah, definitely worth Renegades' while to just hold on to what they've got. That op is very expensive. Carrying it over could certainly serve them well. They do have the armor also. Molotov for JKS, so that's a little bit of money they can save on utility. They're hitting max loss bonus as well, so they certainly can fire right back up into this next round. And that is going to make it 6-0, though, for Misfits. They have been absolutely dominant here on Inferno. Not even been close rounds either. I mean, the last 2 rounds, they survived with all 5 players. And then, obviously, the second round, they also survived with 5 players. So half the rounds they've won, they've never lost a man.
So a stellar CT side so far continues on. And the Renegades bounce back with a bye once more. Everything is invested. Full round loss bonus, flowing fully. And a 2-man play towards apps from the Renegades. But they can't find Devaduvic just yet. Sean Garrison sick, combined for the frag over on Banana. Sean doubles down. And Nafly's pinned behind the logs will get out. Nearly caught on his retreat, but safety is found. Now they look to the A site. What can they do there? Devaduvic moves back. Misfits sit on site with 1 man committed to Arch. I love this angle from Amanek. I feel like I've been seeing players use this more and more often, using this pillar in the center of the site.
That's good cover. I don't think it's really spammable.
No, it's one of the few places on this new site. Of course, Amanek might not even find targets, because it's the op to take the first one. Naf does sit inside Balk, on again just quarter health. Ooh, does spot the player, takes a bit of damage. JKS takes the bait. Bomb's been dropped. That's Misfits 7-0. When, Dust, do they break this defense?
I'm not really sure, man. I mean, everything's just going so well for Misfits. I mean, that's one of those dream scenarios where you're playing an aggressive B setup and you get 2 kills and you just get instant 5-on-3. Dude, Sean hasn't even died yet this game. We're 7 rounds in. And again, we've talked about how dominant these rounds have been. That's another round. Misfits fought with all 5 players. So of the 7 rounds they've won, in 4 of those rounds, they haven't even lost a guy. That's insane.
It's insane.
I like it.
It's also CZ's. P250 and a Deeg. Quadruple flashbang. And the Molotov. 6 sits on the other side of Banana. Has to fall back thanks to the flash, and he'll pop his own. Coming in for more. Finds the headshot onto Ustillo. The rest of the T's begin to trickle in. Molotov blocks it off, and the bomb is lit on fire. Shazam peeks out. He gets information. Will be pushed back, though. Renegades really just committing to the fight. They've been able to open up with 3 frags. Azza makes a case here towards the B site. Sean Gare's all alone. He's calling for reinforcements as Amanek does come over. Sean's being chased by Azza. He picks up the 4th. Needs just 1 more for the CZ ace. Amanek coming in. Gets to the CT cross. Azza on the AK. Now has to clutch, and he does. 5 frags for Azza as he barrels down Banana.
What a ridiculous round from Azza, man. That looked like it was going swimmingly for Misfits. They got the opening kill. They had the rotation. They obviously had the firepower advantage. They've been dominating the half up until this point. They still are overall. But then somehow Azza just pulls off the miracle in that CT rotation spot with the CZ. Those 3 kills were so rapid. And then he finishes it off with the 8s. What a great effort from him. Maybe that'll give Renegades a little bit of life. Maybe that'll inject something into them. They need to worry about being reset, though. That's the real problem. Because they did have to rebuy everyone. Nothing got saved over, really. I'm not hearing you, Scrawny, if you're trying to talk, by the way.
I was not pushing my push to talk.
There you go. I saw your mouth moving. You were trying to say, I bet you had something really insightful to say.
It was the best analysis that I had brought to the table all weekend long, but it's been swept under the rug, so y'all missed out. Shazam, hoping not to miss himself as the tees trickle in, full flash. The fire goes out. Repeat, drops the bomb. Azza, out of this one. Shazam still stands in a 4v2 with his teammates coming over. 25 seconds left. They need to get the plant in. Ustillo tries to cover, but down he goes, and Shazam slays the last. Misfits with the hard reset. Renegades left reeling.
Absolutely well done. The bomb plant does come in, so that does help a bit, but they were still reset at the end of the day. Nifty has enough money to buy an op if he so chose to do, and they wanted to force buy around it. I feel like you're almost forced to do something like that now. You can't keep saving, you know what I mean? Like, you're running out of rounds, and you are going to see that weigh on their minds. They are going to go ahead and force up the UMPs and Galil. Nifty won't get the op. He wants to make sure he can get utility, so he'll take the sacrifice on firepower just to make sure that they have some equipment to work with. As again, there just hasn't really been much on the table other than a brilliant individual play from Azza where he aced. There's been nothing else there for Renegades.
Working with a more desperate buy. Still hanging on to 4 smokes. And a nice collection of flashbangs. We saw some blinding nades hit up that B site on one of their executions, but Renegades since then have yet to replicate the experience. They will throw smokes over towards Arch. That's going to pop in the back of Shazam, so if he falls off, front of Shazam, he has to fall off. He gets no angles. He'll watch Balcony instead. Aminek's going to slay inside of mid with Devin Dubik. 3 quick kills to the CT's favor. Nifty's over on B. Sean Gare starts to walk away, but he'll replume his smoke. Nifty goes through it, and oh, nearly finds the opening. It's absolutely denied. Nafly gets towards sight, and Sean will burn him alive. 9-1 dust as the rounds just keep rolling.
Yeah, we talked about how earlier on in this half, what was it? It was something like 4 out of 7 rounds Misfits had flawless victories. And now, if you want to add to that a little bit, the last 2 rounds they survived with 4. So, what is that? 6 out of 9 rounds, they've only lost 1 or no players. I mean, that's just pure dominance. Numbers really do tell all there. You're into dominance.
I'm just saying, if I like, you know, if the win's going a team's way, I like it to be convincing, Does. That's all I'm getting at. Then again, for grand finals, you'd hope that Renegades would bring something to the table. Now, I'm going to bring this back to Overpass, where we watched, of course, Renegades struggle in the opening bout of that first half, where eventually they turned things around. They got some rounds to the board. I think it was 6 of the last 7 rounds all go the way of Renegades. Well, you know, we're in the last 5. It's still something to work with.
Yeah, it just really stinks to think that we've gone 10 rounds, and the only thing that Renegades has done is as is aced around. That's the only round win they have. Look at the rest of the scoreboard, dude. Just no one's getting kills. Nobody.
That's what they talk about in this pause. Guys, we need a round. What do we do? We need someone to ace.
Yes.
Like that's almost sad.
Yeah, it's rough out here. That's for sure. Been one of the more. This has probably been the most dominant half of CS the entire tournament.
Yep, you're absolutely right. It has been.
I mean, it certainly could still take a turn. You never know. Maybe Renegades put some points on the board before the end of it, but it's hard to see them do it this round. And they've struggled to find kills even on full gun rounds, let alone a round where they're only going to have 250s. But to be fair, the one round they won was off of a CZ. So, I mean, I don't know, man.
I think it's fair to say that this has been the most lopsided half of Counter-Strike this tournament as of yet.
Absolutely.
And you can absolutely say that. I think the proof is in the pudding when it comes down to the players that have survived.
Yeah. I don't know that I've ever seen It's been a while since I've seen a half a CS that's been so dominant to where like every round you're surviving with all 5 or 4. Because think of it this way: not only are you losing all these rounds and you're not getting any kills, and that obviously stinks, but it basically means you're never going to get an easy round because Misfits is never going to have to save. So you're up against an uphill battle every single round you step into, and that's got to be demoralizing and overwhelming.
Especially when this is your map pick. Like, you were supposed to bring something to the table. And I mean, the only thing I've seen so far is that one ace. That's it. And unfortunately for Renegades, despite them taking a pause, you can't help but feel like with a bye like this, it's not the round they'll actually win.
Yeah, it looks like Misfits is destined for double digits in this round, given Renegades are just on pistols. They just have to hope that Nithy's Deagle does something crazy, or one of these P250s pop off. They are going to get control of brackets, at least get some room to work with. But they've had this several times. Several times Misfits have been willing to give up mid and just play 3 inside the site. They've never been able to really break through, but you still does get that 1 Deagle on the Shazam. Maybe this will give them a little bit of injection of life.
A little wind in their sails. Misfits actually missed the timing here. Sean Gares creeps by CT spawn, and Naf has got the bomb on the opposite side. Now he's all alone. Sean Gares is aware that something's fishy. Now he finds it. Nafly tries to get his hands on the M4. He will, but Amanek, he's got his back. Tries to tap. He takes it. Headshot connects. Misfits to double digits. Renegades still stagnate on 1.
Yeah, I mean, there was a little bit of a window there where he might have been able to just run into B and get the bomb planted since Sean Garris was pushed down the bottom banana. And that would have at least given them more money in this round, but there was never really a chance for him to win it. Just, again, good play from Misfits across the board, as they are in a commanding lead of 10-1. Renegades will be able to buy up here, though. Let's see what they have in store for us, as, again, we're going to see Sean Gares and company look to put that pressure on Banana. They've done this many of rounds. They've never been punished for it. This time, they kind of actually sit back on the site pretty early on. They did dump some utility to slow them down a little bit, but they are eventually going to let Renegades get that top Banana control. They're going to boost Sick up into a new spot. I mean, when you're clearing the site and you're checking new box, that's definitely not where your crosshair is going to be. So he definitely could catch someone off.
Oh,
they're also going to boost there
one.
too. Yeah, I mean, it's off angles upon off angles over here right now in that B bomb site defense. But boost does usually get checked, to be fair. So we'll have to see.
Crazy situation here, of course, is that if Sean plays far enough back, then it's the opposite boost that'll get their attention first.
True.
That's a solid crossfire. Something you'd expect from Sean, but Shaz opens up with an op shot on truck lane. Over towards Arch, Amanek reels backwards, so that's some map control for the Renegades to play. At least in this round, they've been able to do that, right? There's been a lot of rounds where they've accomplished nothing. And now they've postured themselves with banana control, with arch control. That player now falls back, grabs bomb. So, like, there's been method in this round. Renegades coming in with
You're
strats.
actually right about this, by the way. Like, Sick will be spotted first.
This is a crazy crossfire.
And he should get the kill because of the off angle, and then Sean Gares gets to light him up. So this should work out really well for Misfits.
Wrecked. Trade frag successful. JKS takes it, though. And that could have gone better.
That actually went pretty well for Renegades, all considered.
I retract my wrecked. And now it's nifty to fall to the AK of David Duvik. JKS will cross towards Coffin, spots the first, could line them up. But instead he walks away. He knows they have to come in here. No smoke to cover cross, it's only the frag on Misfits. It goes wide, flash to follow suit. JKS peeks, stops the first. And it's down to Shazam. He's got himself the kit. He's going to get back on it. Does not decide to stick as JKS makes noise and executes the last. Renegades double their scores and at least put 2 on the board.
Yeah, really well done by them. They just handled those boosts so well. I mean, definitely on point. That could have gone way worse for them. Trading evenly against those types of positions was actually really well done. And so they do finally put another round on the board, but they need to find more than this. And if they get reset again, Oh my goodness, that would just be devastating, wouldn't it? I mean, even in this round, they're having to use a lot of UMPs. Again, Misfits are never going to have to save before this half ends.
Now, the crazy thing is, last round, Misfits afforded all that map control for Renegades. We saw them, you know, employ that three-step system with Banana, Arch, and then the wrap back. This time, it's immediate control from Misfits towards the top of B. They push Sig all the way into the cubby. Sean Gares begins to reel back, but he will still remain as Shazam swaps sides over on A.
And they've just re-smoked Banana. Nifty gonna molly logs. Looks like he wants to go for something, but it's just gonna let Sean Gares know where he is. Get through the kill through the smoke. Even Almanac's able to go down before he gets pinned up against the wall. And so it is a 4-on-3 for Misfits. And it keeps piling on, man. The flash pushing here coming in from Misfits. They're cleaning house at this point. Just JKS. Sure, he gets one, but what more can he really do? This would be an insane clutch if he pulls it off.
And he's going to get nothing other than an op shot through the chest. Hearts broken here on the side of Renegades as they still sit on only 2 rounds. Again, it is reset. No consecutive points on the entirety of this T side, and not a single round on the board until the 8th deep. So clearly, Renegades nearly coming up empty-handed. They're going to have to take this one on the chin after they only have the 4 P250s to play. Not a single nade, nothing, nada, schnut.
Zip.
That's another one.
Zilch.
Ooh, pulling out the Z's dust. Just like Renegade's T side.
That making you snooze?
Oh, Sean.
Oh no! Not like this!
The teammate, Sick finds another, doesn't fall back.
Oh,
He
come
holds
on.
the line instead. Spams off, and as he drops, Shazam rotates over, taking up another. JKS creates some space, and at least he plants the bomb. But Misfits 2v1, massive gun advantage, and even Kevlar goes their way. But JKS will retrieve the M4, jumps to the top of the boxes, and Devadovic drops him down. It's Misfits on 12, 10-point lead, and 1 left to play.
Yeah, he just happened to catch JKS on the way. JKS actually could have got up there. He maybe could have taken down Devadovic and gotten to the one-on-one, maybe had a chance, but unfortunately it's just a lot of maybes. And that's all there is. It's been such a dominant half for Misfits here. They're going to be double opping in this round as well. Renegades, of course, will buy all that they can. Last round of the half, not too shabby. I mean, they have decent utility. They have mostly AKs, so they will have a decent bit at their disposal, but what can they do with it?
They'll try to go for some rapid alt-mid push and presence, and they'll take it right into the apps. Nobody to contest this whatsoever. It's a very fast play considered what we've seen in these last few rounds. Renegades shooting for 3. Sean Gares shooting through smoke, yet again dealing damage. 2 players tagged, but all 5 still stand to the T side. Until Sean finds 2, almost 3. Ustillo stops him then and there and continues to wrap around as Shaz drops bomb. Devadovic dusted. And a man advantage still held on to. Traded back again as Amanex seals the fate of the Renegades. 2 rounds to the T side.
13-2 is how we finish. So dominant from Misfits. And we will just be taking a short break here to hear from our sponsors one last time. I wonder if it'll be Tim the Tap Man. Maybe he's going to talk to us. I don't know. We'll find out.
I hope so.
Yeah, I do. Love me some Tim the Tap Man. And, well, we will be right back with the second half.
My name is Trick2G, and I use CyberPowerPC powered by Intel. Let's go!
My name is Tim the Tap Man. I use CyberPowerPC powered by Intel. Let's go!
as if they have better things to do at 1:30 in the morning. And because of that, we've had a little bit of a delay here, but it's coming back. The players are getting antsy. I'm getting antsy, Dust.
I'm about to call his phone. Watch this. I'm going to do this live on air.
Yeah?
Yeah, you won't be able to hear him, but you'll be able to hear me talking to him. I'm ringing him right now.
How do I know you're not lying?
Can you hear it?
I hear nothing.
You don't hear it?
No. I hear the ring.
Oh, you hear the ring? Yeah, that's what we're waiting for.
Your call has been forwarded.
Aw, direct. Hate to hear that. Have to switch Go TV? Alright. We're gonna try again with another call. Dasher's the hero. What a hero our production guy is. He went in there and did it. So we will be getting into this soon. We promise.
Yeah, the reason that you guys are hearing sound and then it fades away is because our producer has to alt-tab, swap through all his programs, and solve the problem. The guy who's making the stream literally just joined server and put things live. So big shout out to Dashner. The man, the myth, the legend. Follow him while you're at it for being committed here with us. But Dust, it is time. The second pistol is upon us.
Indeed it is. Will Misfits put a quick end to this, or will Renegades fight their way back? This push from you still at alt mid. You got past Almanac, and that could certainly make things spicy at Banana. Especially since they have 3 on B and you still is flanking, this could get real sloppy.
Ooh, Nafly tries to hold off towards the coffins, but instantly taken down. JKS trades it back with another, a third, almost fourth, but nope, he's stopped then and there. So the 2v2 set to unfold, and Aminex nowhere to be found. So the bomb might just cower to the backside of site and try to buy its time as Renegades attempt to figure things out.
Yeah, just waiting patiently for Almanac to get to a position to actually assist Shazam. He will be coming through to CT. Peek here comes in. Almanac able to find the headshot onto Ustillo. And just jumping around, will find the final frag as well as a out 14-2. And Renegades are forced to force buy in this one. Usually they like to be conservative in this situation, but given the scenario they're in, they have to challenge for that map point.
Whew. This will be the most one-sided grand finals of any of the CyberPowerPC Extreme Gaming Series events. We're making history, Dust.
Yeah, this map for sure has been just a barn burner in the favor of Misfits, so to speak. We'll see what Renegades can do here with the CZs, though. They do have a stack over here at Porch, so if there is any attack middle, it could come into play. They also do have some good positions here at B. The boost might catch someone off guard. Yes, JKS will get the frag. Naf peeking out, able to find one as well. So this is a good hold so far.
Still 2 players towards the B site, both of which on coffin side.
Oh man, this stack
will be deadly. Could be deadly.
Should be deadly.
Oh my goodness, Shazam. With the one-tap dirt nap, nifty. Down for the count, all 3. Misfits just go barreling through it, looking to find 15. A 13-round comeback is what might be needed, but first, they need the retake. 2 versus 3, 2 targets tagged. And Renegades prepared to commit to this. dodging timing here inside the app. Six going to give up his back, and he only has that full health. The other players for Misfits heavily hit, still able to catch the lurker. Now it's on JKS. He exits with 1 frag to his name. But she's over. Misfits, find 15, 13-round comeback. Dust, do you believe?
If there was a way to, like, negative believe, like, if you were going to give a % chance to it, there was a way to just give negative % chance. I would do that. So, 0%. That's as low as I can go. What are your thoughts? Do you have a % chance in mind?
Nope. I just don't think there's anything here for Renegades to play with. It's been such a one-sided affair. I can't imagine what the mentality and comms must be like between these players at this moment.
Yeah, when it's late at night, you've been playing for a long time, obviously. And then you're in his position.
At least they've got this banana stack with 2 players up close looking to work the pistols. Sean Gares creeps in, takes the first, spams for the next one, but the man still stuck behind the sandbags goes down. Nafly removed, and Azza pushing up will be able to trade, but it's Amanek slain and a 4v2 to unfold here. Nifty again putting up a fight for the Renegades, but is it enough? As Sean will plant the bomb. The CTs are split. They've got utility to play off of. It is still possible, but just unlikely. Shazam boosted to the backside of the site, and Sean inside the dark cubby. Boost pans out. Grenade blasts one away. It's all on Azza, and he too dealt with. Misfits in convincing fashion walk away with a second map, the 2-0 win, not only upsetting versus Optic in the semis, but winning with absolute certainty here in the grand finals. They are your CyberPowerPC Extreme Gaming Series Fall 2017 Grand Champions. What a way to win.
Indeed, they are the ones that walk home with the $9,000. It'll be $4,000 for second place for Renegades. Of course, $1,000 apiece went out to the likes of Optic and CLG, who are our other semi-finalists. And that is going to wrap it up here for this edition of the CyberPower Extreme Gaming Series. We definitely appreciate all of you for tuning in. Be sure to hit up this channel and follow it for future tournaments that I'm sure will be out there at some point. You can also give a follow to the men over at Civo who are running things. Definitely appreciate those folks. And give us a follow if you enjoyed the commentary. It was at ScrawnyCG and at FollowDust on Twitter. I'm sure you'll be seeing a little bit more of us in the future months as well. And yeah, I'll give you the final word, Scrawny.
Nothing other than GG, I suppose. Late game, great tournament. Love CS through and through. That's what we're all here for in the end. Rough play for Renegades. I really expected them to kind of bring more to this grand finals, but Misfits just continuing their decent run. I mean, they've been having an excellent ESL Pro League season thus far, and now just pocketing a little extra change on this weekend is a fantastic way to keep that momentum rolling. So really, only thing that I can suggest you guys do is head over towards the CyberPowerPC giveaway. Enter in your chance to win. It's the only way that you'll improve your weekend as far as free stuff's concerned. And so, make sure you head down to the link below. It's either in chat or in the info boxes just underneath the stream. And I'm sure the winner will be announced on the Civo and CyberPower social medias. So we thank you guys all again for tuning in throughout this weekend. We had some pretty close games, just not the closest grand finals, but hats off to both those teams for being patient and for trying to give it their best. But we will sign off here and now. Another CyberPower tournament for the record books. It was a blast. It was fantastic, and I'm sure it won't be the last time that you guys see this tournament, so do stay tuned. But that's it for us here, and so we bid you adieu. Good night, and have yourselves a fantastic Monday.